Hello everyone, welcome to a video of me, and today we are doing the first ever load on this channel of the Bosch Series 8. So today we're doing, I'd say just quite a small load of whites on cotton 60. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Aqua Plus or not, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll do that. But this is the first ever load, a full cycle, on this Bosch, and I'm going to try and upload it on a full cycle, not in parts, so it's much easier to watch and it's much easier for me actually as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to now turn on the machine, and you also notice it has a drum light, so let me turn it on. See that it lights up like so, which is really nice. So what we're going to do speed plus, because we don't want it to go that long. It most likely will shorten the time on its own, but I do want speed plus anyway, because well I want it to be on low time. Well, as you can see there, that is the load sensor, as you can see there. Sometimes it's weirdly though, when I you can see it goes to 0, and I just gently, I don't know. It must be that because my floor's unlevel, that is very lightly. Try and restart. But it sometimes does it, but it's probably because my floor is unlevel and it's not very level, so that's probably why it's doing that. But anyway, I'm not too bothered anyway, it's just the way the drum's positioned. But you'll see that the load sensor will kick in a second or two. There we are. It will kick in after a certain amount of time. Well, as well, when I press down, you see on the display that it actually it does work. It does work, but it works better when it's wet, if you know what I mean. So it's saying it's 40% taken up. That's what it's saying on the display, and it's gone out now. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut the door. And as soon as you do that, if you do have that on the display still, as soon as you shut the door, that will go out. That display, it will just go to this screen, and that will start flashing the start reload button. So now, well, I'll show you quickly what you can do. So I can go up to about 90 if I want, which is 1 hour. But if I have 50 or below, it's 1 hour. But if you go to 60 degrees, it adds 6 minutes. Which is not bad, but if you go 70, then it goes to, the reason why it adds much more time as well is because it does a cooldown if it's 70 or above. That's on any cycle. So if you're going above, if you're 70 or above 70 degrees, it will do a cooldown. I knew that because I saw another video of where someone put it on 70 and it does a cooldown. So you can see that's why the time's gone up considerably. But if you go back to 60, it will just go to 1 hour and 6. Now if you go to the menu, hang on. Go back to spin speed. So you got this model is 1400 max. I wish it was a 1600, but there we are. I don't really mind. But yeah, you can also see how much energy it's using. So if I had speed plus off, you can see how much it will take 1 bar of energy. If I had SpeedPerfect, you can see how much less energy and water it would use. But in this case, I'm going to use Speed Plus, which is using more energy, unfortunately, but it's also using more water. So that's another good feature about this machine, but I will do a full review of it in a few days or so. And I will do a full in-depth review of this whole control panel and everything about it. But I have to say, it's definitely better than the Quick Drive. The reason why I didn't do any videos of that was because, well, if you could see in some of the videos which I did shoot of it, where it was having problems, and I didn't really want to shoot any videos of it. I just didn't feel like I wanted to with it. So, but I will be with this one because it is absolutely amazing. I'm well impressed with this. But I am going to use, so anyway, let's go through the menu. So, you have pre-wash, which I'm going to have off. Less ironing, I'm going to have off. Now, one other thing, this is touch-sensitive buttons. This isn't actually buttons, so you can just tap it. Rinse plus, actually, yes, I'm going to have, no, I want 1 extra rinse, because otherwise it will do 3, and well, if I didn't have any extra rinses, it will do 2, but I want 3, so Water Plus. I'll come back to that. Rinse Hold, no. Silent Wash, no. I need to try that out. I want to try that out. Water Plus. Now, the reason is, it's not a big load. But then again, I want to show you the good amount of water it uses. Now, if I go back, you will see that the water, yeah, you see the water's gone up. Now, Water Plus actually doesn't affect the time. It just raises the wash level. Now, because this is a, it has a much more options where it can spread out the options much more easily. Actually, Aqua Plus, well, it's Water Plus, is actually Water Plus. It actually adds more water into the wash and rinses. And you can have Rinse Plus. So they're actually separate on this model. So, so what I'm going to do, Water Plus. I haven't seen Water Plus off though. I want to know, but at the same time, I want to see how good it is without Aqua Plus. Should I have it off? See, it doesn't affect the time, but it will affect the amount of water I'm using. Let's have it off. Let's have it off for this today, because I do want to see how good it can handle. Because it is only a small load. Then again, it is a small load. So, but we will have one extra rinse. Oh, that's funny. So if I have Speed Plus, one rinse. Oh, okay. So it still adds the water consumption up to the max. Oh well. So anyway, I'm going to add the detergent now. The detergent we're using is the Fairy Bio powder, which I mainly use all the time. Which if you've seen any other washes on my channel, that's what I've been using, because that's my favourite detergent. Well, because the reason why I don't rarely use different detergents is because, well, I have sensitive skin, so which I've always been used to Fairy, so I've always been, but I will try and do a different detergents, but I've always worried if I do, my skin will just react. It doesn't react to a lot of things very well, especially things like that, so that should be fine. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start it, and you will see as well what it does is it turns on the drum light and then it actually dispenses the water. Oh, do you know what? Let's do Water Plus. Let's do Water Plus. Start. And there we go. Because I do want to show how good water levels it does. So you can see on the icons here, so we've got Water Plus and one extra rinse active. So that's the options I've selected. We're dispensing detergent now. It's dispensed. So you can see on display. We try and now what I'm also going to do is try and lower it slightly where you can sort of see both, but at the same time, but you can see there quickly. You can see it says detergent dispensing on the display. Now I'm going to get my LED light in a second, but I'll just quickly turn it back to that so you can see a bit better. But you can see it is you can still see in it pretty easily, without, you know. I think that's the level it would have done if I haven't had Water Plus. Now, because I've had Water Plus, it's going to do more water. But I think I can still turn it off. Yeah, do you know what? Let's turn it off. Let's turn it off. Which is a good thing I can still do. Now, it might reset slightly. I don't know. because that's all right. That's an all right level already. But we'll see what it does. This might be the level, because that's an all right level, and it's only a small load. It doesn't need extra water. But we have added one extra rinse, so. But that is a good level already. So I'm not too bothered if that is the actual level it's going to go for. Now, we just have to find out. Once we find out, it will turn to washing. So you can see on the display, it says load adjust active. Now, once that changes to washing, that it won't top up anymore. So that's how it works. Once it's gone to washing, that's reached its full level, and that's what it's going to do for the rest of the wash. But yeah. Also, this has amazing pump sound. I'm telling you, this has an amazing pump sound. Amazing. It just sounds, it chugs amazingly. I'm surprised. I'm not sure if it's the way that the drain hose is situated differently to the other machines I've had, because it doesn't even siphon. Because actually the Samsung quick drive was siphoning badly. It was actually worse than the hot point. It was actually siphoning really badly. Towards the end I was having it. For some reason it was just siphoning badly. But yeah, it doesn't matter now because it's gone, but anyway. I have explained in a video what happened to it, but I will cut it short for you. It was basically the PCB. Definitely a PCB. It wasn't like really, it was quite noticeable that it did have a fault, but you'd have to look twice if you're like not a washing machine expert or like enthusiast. Yeah. So this is already doing a better level on cotton, better than the Samsung quick drive. Like, it'll be even lower than this. Like, it was pretty bad. Like, the level was pretty bad. It didn't do great levels. Now, if I had towels in here, if it was going to do a top up, it would stop for a while, and then it would go again. It would stand still for a bit, and then it will add more water if it was really a bulky load. Because this is not a bulky load, it's not going to do that most likely. This might be the actual the wash level, but it's working out if it needs to or not. If it needs to add a little bit more, which I doubt very much, because I've deactivated Water Plus. If I had Water Plus still activated, it will add more water. So as you can see, that's actually going quite good on the camera, you know. See it quite well. So, still load adjust active. One of the best looking drums in my opinion, actually. I do like this drum. This might be the level. I'm pretty certain it's going to be the level. The only physical button is the power button and the dial. That is the only physical like buttons and whatever. Everything else is touch sensitive. doesn't have any holes in the back either, which that's the first drum I've ever had that doesn't have any holes in the back. This is definitely a brilliant washer, I have to admit. It has so much flexibility. I hadn't even got started with all the programs yet. The only programs I've used is Cotton, Duvet, Dark Wash, and Super Quick 15. I ain't even got started. There's quite a lot in others as well. There's quite a few extras as well. So it's like, you know what I mean? And all the options as well you can do in the menu. And you can have pre-wash and silent wash and all this. There's so much different options and flexibility. It is just unbelievable. It will take me months if I was going to do every day different cycles. It will take me at least a month to get through all the cycles and options on them different cycles. So this would take absolute ages. It's actually unbelievable how much flexibility this machine has. You know what I mean? We've got shirts, we've got night wash, we've got sportswear. You know what I mean? Wool, delicates, mix. Oh yeah, I've used mixed load. I've used that cycle. I haven't used Eco Cotton, and I haven't used Easy Care, and I haven't used delicates or wool, or I haven't used Allergy Plus, sportswear, night wash and shirts. Haven't used them, and a few others in the others as well. Haven't used. Yeah, told you, that's the level. I knew that would be the level. Now, if I go back into the menu, I don't think it'll allow me to have... Oh, it still allows me to. Huh. Alright. I don't think it'll allow me at a certain point, though. But yeah, I told you that would be the level. The wash level. It would be higher if I selected Water Plus. It'll be up to about nearly the rim, just below the door seal. But I as you can see, I definitely don't need it for this load. There's no need. There's definitely no need to have it on this load. And because there's less water, it will heat quicker. So there'll be less heating power as well. As you can see, it's doing a really good wash action. Yeah, it does do some amazing action. Let's try and find the actual full level of it then. Yeah, it's about medium. The Samsung is on as well. It's got a pair of shoes which is on quick wash, well, quick 30. It's only a pair of shoes. They don't need long. They only need them pretty much like freshen up. They don't need a long wash. Only for a pair of shoes. They don't really need much. I wonder if it will still allow me to have. Still allows me. Okay. So it still allows me to have it if I wanted to. I love when it does that little jiggle after a tumble or whatever. Definitely the quietest machine I've had as well. Definitely the quietest I've had. Hear the heater there, I could hear it for a second. It almost reaches distribution, almost. Quite a good amount of drum speed. So yeah, I've activated the warranty on this. 2-year manufacturer warranty with all parts and labour, and 10 years on the motor. But I can extend it with Bosch themselves to 5 years, £89 it is with this model. I'm not sure if it's cheaper on any other model, but on this model it's £89 to extend it to 5 years. But yeah, I might do it eventually, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how it goes. But I don't have to worry at the moment because it's still got, well, it's got about 2 years on it, so. But I can any time I can extend it if I want to. Which I'm most likely probably going to do, but we'll have to see. Because this is definitely a machine, one of my favourite machines I've ever owned, and I've ever seen as well. I'm very proud, I'm very happy to own this, definitely. Definitely a well built and very good machine. You can tell it's well built. You can definitely tell it's well built. I'm probably going to get, oh yeah, probably everyone knows now in the washing community, but we're probably going to get that idiot, them two idiots, probably doing that Adora or whatever you bloody say it, crap, spamming. You can just see it coming, but oh well, I really don't care. I actually don't care. Just play them at their own game. That's all I'm going to do, just annoy them back. Because anyway, they're idiots. So that's all they are. But also, there was going to be another machine that I was very close to getting, which was an LG Centrum. I was very close to getting that. But I thought to myself, I looked online and I just, when I heard about them pumps and going pretty easily and all that, I thought, nah. Plus, it's Korean crap, you know what I mean? Like, I've just got rid of my Samsung, which is Korean, as well, in China. I want no offence, but they're not the best. They're not the best, because, especially their customer service is appalling. And apparently LG's is appalling as well, so I thought, nah. But when I registered it with Bosch on the phone, they were very, very friendly and good. For a first impression of their customer service, just from registering it alone, they were very, very friendly and good. I have to say. They were very... I think they're from this country as well, because when I phoned Samsung, I think they were from India or something, I don't know. But, I could tell it was definitely English people on the phone with Bosch customer service. I could tell it was definitely Bosch, definitely English people. But yeah, it was a long story. But they were very, very. I could tell they were very annoyed that I think they knew that I was gonna get a different machine. Well, they knew that I was going to get a different machine, and they were just very annoyed about it and very annoyed that I was going to leave them. But I just kept going and going at them because it's my legal rights. I have the legal right to be able to exchange it if it's not working what it's supposed to say it does. Because the quick drive was malfunctioning because of the PCB. Because if you actually looked at one of my videos, I think it was a super speed video of, if you go on, it's the super speed with a little dark load. Now what you could see is when it started to turn, you could see the quick drive started to turn, but then it stopped a second later. Well, just half a second later. It tried a little bit and it stopped. Now that shouldn't be happening. That I can tell you that right now, because on Machine Central's videos I haven't seen it do that, and other videos of the quick drives I've never ever seen that. So that's definitely a fault. Now it's doing the same thing that the main motor was doing, because it kept jolting and getting stuck. That is exactly the same thing, but the reason why it didn't stop altogether was because it's just the quick drive. If it was the main motor, then it stops it altogether, which I find a bit odd. I thought that if the quick drive was failing, it would reset itself as well, but it didn't. Also, service mode didn't work, because an engineer told me months ago of the other one, he told me if you go into service mode, it resets the board. And I thought to myself, if I go into service mode, I can try and reset it and see if that will fix it. But I couldn't even get that far, because it wouldn't even get into service mode. Now at that point, I knew the PCB has a failure or corruption in it, because service mode would not enter. It would not enter into that mode. At that point, that's when I called them up and I said, look, right, it's doing this and this, but I didn't mention service mode, because if I mentioned service mode, they would not do anything, and they'd probably remove the warranty and I wouldn't be with this today. So they would refuse to probably exchange it as well. So yeah, I told them, I said, look, it's doing this, it keeps, and as well, it actually came up with a 3E error. Now that, it only came up with it once, but that was because when I came back from when I was out, I came back from just getting something to eat, and I came back, and I noticed 3E was on the display, and I was like, hang on a minute, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? Because that is a common fault, and I knew that was a common fault because I've seen it before, and I was like, you've got to be joking me. Now that was just before, and I thought, let me go in service mode. Then after that, that's when I called them and I said, look, it's doing this and this, and they said yeah, that's quite a common fault. And she actually knew it was a common fault, because she said to me it's most likely the PCB. And I spoke to someone else, shout out to Darren as well, can't remember his YouTube name, but it's 86 at the end, I think. But he said to me, it's definitely a PCB fault, so that's 100% PCB. But the engineer came round, and he was very understanding of the situation. He was very friendly, I have to admit. And he said to me, because at the time I was alright, just apart from that, I liked the quick drive. I thought it was really quite a good machine. But the guy said, we could either repair it for you or give you a whole new machine. And he said to me, I might as well just give you a whole new machine, really, because it's new and all that. I thought, oh yeah, alright. I said, oh yeah, alright then. I said, yeah, I'm really happy with that. And I was very happy, and he said, yeah, alright then, I'll give you this reference card thing, and we'll get it sorted for you. Now, a week passes, and I thought to myself, and I spoke to the washer chat as well, and I was like, do you know what? I don't want this anymore. I want to get a different machine. I got really put off by it. As well, I tried all different cycles, and the levels were not great either. The levels were terrible, pretty much. And I was pretty disappointed with it. So, at that point, I decided that I was going to get an exchange. And I thought, yeah, let's get an exchange. So, called Samsung up, and they said, okay, the first step we need to do is you need proof of purchase. Which was like, oh, great. But I thought that, because the engineer he actually asked me for proof of purchase, which I showed him. So I thought, why do I need to do this again? But I guess for security reasons, I was like, fine. So, anyway, I asked him, I said, how do you want it done? And she said, this was one from the Indian department bit as well. Just to mind that bit. And she said to me, you can just screenshot the proof of purchase and the invoice, which I had. And she said, just screenshot them and send it to us, that's fine. this UK thingy, and which I did, and then 3 days later, which she said I would get a call the next day, but 3 days passes, nothing's happened. Then I get email saying that it was failed and it was denied, and I was like, hang on a minute, what? How is it denied? I've done everything the woman told me. So I called them back, and they said no. Yeah, I called them back, and they said they would give me a call on this from a different department, because they said it will be better if we use this different department to help you out. So the next day, I get a call from this Sheffield, which is obviously a department in Sheffield of them. And I was happy because I could understand it better. But the guy was very quick at talking, though. He was very, very quick. Which made me was like getting a bit, oh my god. It was very hard to understand at times, though, because he was going very quick as well. But he told me that the reason why it was denied, they called me from the actual people that denied it, but he told me the reason why it was denied was because it was stream shots. Like, what? I said, your colleague, well, your like different department told me just to send screenshots. So yeah, that's great service, isn't it? So and he goes, oh, well, they must have got mixed up. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. And he said, how do I want it done then? And he said, I have to send it as a PDF file. I was like, oh, for God's sake. I didn't actually say it to him, but I was like, oh, okay. But in my head, I was like, oh, for God's sake. So basically, I was like, oh, do you know what? So I'd done that. Well, I basically had to print it off and then scan it onto the computer again to put it into a PDF file. Calls me back and he goes, right. He goes, I need the serial number on the appliance. Read it out to him. And then he says, oh, thank you. And then the call ends. 10 minutes later, I get a call back from the same number. Answer it. And he says, that's an incorrect serial number. I'm like, for God's sake. Read it out again, and then it got it right. And because he stayed on the line this time, and he got it right. So that's a bit of... we're getting somewhere now. Sort of. Well, anyway. This is the bit where I started to get a bit annoyed, right? So, he said I would get a call back, hopefully by next week. Well, he said, well, in a few days. But I got it in about a week passes and nothing's happened. I didn't receive a call. Now, the reason why he said I needed to wait a few more days is so they can authorise it with this other department bit that needs to authorise it and get the report back. I need to go. The thing is, the first thing I ever did was call AO, and they told me I need this thing called an uplift code. Now, if once I get this uplift code, I can either do two things. I can either get a full refund, which the reason why you would want to do that is if then you want to go with a different retailer, which I didn't want to do because AO has been brilliant. Ever since we've used them since 2011, they've always been brilliant. So we're still going to use them. But I did, or the second option is to get a different machine. But if it was less expensive, then they'll give me the money back. If I go less expensive, then they give me some of the money back depending what model or make you get. Or if you go for a more expensive one, then you just have to pay that little extra amount. It depends what one you get again. So anyway, that's why that department have to authorise it and then give it back. Then can give me the uplift code. Now a week passes, right? Nothing's happened, right? He said a few days, right? A week has passed. I call them up and they tell me I would have to wait tomorrow until the guy's back, the head office guy. And I was like, great. So I was like, for God's sake, right? I didn't say it again, but I did say it in my head. And he says, well, the next day I get a call back and it's him. And he says to me, we still need to authorise it. And said, we're sorry we're taking this long. and we'll hopefully we should get back to you by next week. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me now, right? This has been going on for about almost like just 2 weeks now. It's just over 2 weeks of this kerfuffle, right? So they said I would get a call by next week. Now about 2 days pass after that call, and I looked on AO and I saw a quick drive on the top of the line one. It's 10 kg, and I saw, right, this got me fuming. I saw that the people said that because their electronics failed on their one, and they said they're getting a full refund and Samsung collecting it under warranty. I'm like, you are kidding me. I've been waiting 2 weeks non-stop and they're giving me grief of this authorising with these departments and all this, and they're getting a refund. And I've been stuck. So I was fuming. And my dad told me, do you know what? Ring AO back and they'll sort it out for you. I was like, how are they going to do that, right? They told me I need the uplift code. So I listened to him and I called them back. And that was the best thing I'd done. Because if I didn't do that, I'd probably have to wait a week or whatever. But I could tell they're making excuses though. Now, the reason why I was saying that is because you'll see in a minute. Now, I called them and I tell them my frustration. Now, I was being nice to them because they've always gave me great service. And they said to me, she was very understanding. She said, yeah, I think that's not right. I think that's out of order. She said, I understand your frustration. She said, I will call them and see what's going on. So she called them and said, I'm not sure exactly what she said, but I'm guessing she sort of said something like this. You know what I mean? Like, enough's enough. Like they want the uplift code because they want to get a full refund or a different machine. Now she called, I was on hold at this time. Now she comes back on the call and she says to me that they still need to authorise it with this department bit, which I've already been told, and he said that. But she also mentioned, she said that they were considering getting another engineer out. But hang on a minute. They said they're going to get this sorted and give me the uplift code, and then now they're saying they want to. But she said to them, no, they want an exchange. They don't want a repair. Now, the out of order thing is, they also tried this. They wanted to get another engineer out to see if there was actually a fault with it. Now, props to this engineer called John. I really doubt he'll watch this video, but I'm going to shout him out anyway. John, you're the best, because I'm pretty sure, right, because apparently they said that they told them that there's definitely a fault. Now, there's this other engineer that I've met, wasn't very nice. I can't remember his name, but he wasn't a very nice guy. But I'm pretty sure if it was him, he would say there's not a fault. And I would not be able to get the exchange. And I probably wouldn't be able to have this machine. So, after the engineer tells them, yeah, there actually is a fault, because they're almost going to get another engine out, because they think if there's actually a fault, which there was, then they finally accepted the exchange, because, well, she said to me, hopefully by a few hours we'll get this sorted with them, and we'll give you a text to see if we're ready to the exchange. And hallelujah, 3 hours later, about 2-3 hours later, I get a text saying, we are ready to do the exchange. You can call us on this number and we'll get this sorted with you. How hard was that, Samsung? This guy said to me, oh, you might get a call a week later. Funny that, because 2 days later, right, I call AO, and a few hours later, they give him the uplift code. That's funny, innit? Do you know what? They were obviously making excuses all this time. Obviously making excuses to try and just frustrate me to the point where I go, do you know what, just get it repaired, right? Because I can't be bothered. That's what they were aiming for. But no, I put up a fight, right? I know this might be cringy or whatever, but no, I did put up a fight with them. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm going for an exchange, and I'm going for a different machine. I'm not sticking with you. You're crap, right? Because they're crap. But anyway, I could tell they're very annoyed. And you know, I got a text a few days ago saying, "How was your customer service you received from Samsung about the product and all that?" And I said, "Rubbish." It said, "Describe us with one word with Samsung customer service," and I said, "Rubbish." It is. I wanted to say something else. I wanted to say SHIT. I wanted to say it. But I didn't because I didn't want to be disrespectful to them. But you know what I mean? They're crap. Their customer service is appalling. The machines are appalling, right? And anything else about them is rubbish, right? And that's the end of it, right? And I chose this machine, so this is the machine I got, the Bosch Serie, which was 50 quid more than the quick drive, which I already bought, which I didn't mind, which I paid that, and then they brought this one and took the other one away. So yeah, that is basically the story of, I know it's very long, but as you can see, that's why I was getting frustrated, because it was bloody long. All this faff with them. But anyway, you can see him getting my point. Don't buy Samsung product. Don't make the stupid mistake I done. Get something else like Bosch, Siemens, Miele, or you know, Beko, or you know, get something different or like much more better than Samsung. Do not go for Samsung machines. I'm very tempted to take my review off of the quick drive because it is rubbish. I'm just so disappointed with it. It's mental. It didn't even do what it was designed to do properly. That is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because if I wasn't a washing machine enthusiast, right, the people wouldn't know that it's working properly, right? And the quick drive's not working properly. So the reason why they bought it is because of the quick drive and it's not even working properly. Do you know what? That is just unbelievable, right? It's just mad. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Well, part 1. And I'll see you guys in part 2 because, well, I need to do a part 2 to turn the brightness down on my phone. But anyway, I'll see you guys in part 2, which will be, I'll just put this in 2 parts. But I'll see you guys in the final part of this Bosch Series 8 Cotton 60. So I'll see you in the next part.